April 26, 1986. This day marked one of the most tragic incidents in the history of mankind. After less than a decade of service, Chernobyl nuclear power plant's reactor number 4 exploded near the city of Pripyat. Nearly 4 decades later, the Chernobyl disaster still casts a long shadow over its victims and the global community, making people think about the harsh realities of a dystopian world. From a mysterious entity to mutant animals, here are the 15 weirdest things ever found in Chernobyl. Number 15. Radiation-eating black fungi. Following the Chernobyl disaster, expectations were grim, with many predicting the complete desolation of life in the vicinity. Yet, nature proved resilient, breathing new life into the surroundings of the radioactive site, where life forms adapted to thrive in the harsh conditions. On February 24, 2022, Russian troops entering the Chernobyl exclusion zone for a cleanup operation stumbled upon an extraordinary find: black fungi with an incredible ability to flourish in the radioactive landscape. This discovery may unlock breakthroughs in radiation protection, especially for astronauts in space. Although only recently getting attention, these fungi, known since the early 90s, intrigued scientists with their high levels of melanin, a pigment linked to skin and hair color. This pigment is key to the fungi's survival, allowing them to not only withstand gamma radiation but also to convert it into chemical energy, much like plants do with photosynthesis. This remarkable trait has sparked global scientific interest, exploring how these fungi could be applied outside Chernobyl, such as in space exploration. In 2016, SpaceX and NASA even transported strains of these black fungi to the International Space Station to assess their ability to shield astronauts from cosmic rays. The findings were promising. Just a thin layer of the fungi could significantly reduce radiation exposure, hinting at the potential for a living radiation shield in the future of space travel. Number 14. Giant catfish. In the unexpected and surreal environment of Chernobyl, amidst the backdrop of nuclear fallout and desolation, catfish have found a way to not just survive, but thrive. The Wells catfish, or Silurus glanus, have become the unlikely inhabitants of the cooling pond of Chernobyl, a place where life's persistence continues to astonish. These catfish have grown to remarkable sizes, not as a result of the radioactivity, as one might assume given the location's history, but due to the unique ecological niche they occupy. The cooling pond, originally designed to support the operations of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, now serves as a predator-free haven rich in prey, offering an ideal environment for the catfish to flourish. The absence of natural predators, coupled with an abundant food supply, has allowed these catfish to reach sizes that are impressive yet still within their species' natural growth potential. The largest of these catfish, captured for scientific study, measured almost 6 feet in length, comparable to the height of an average human. These findings are a testament to the resilience and adaptability of nature. The Wells catfish in Chernobyl's cooling pond, despite the high levels of radiation that followed the disaster, demonstrate the capacity for life to adapt to even the most inhospitable conditions. This adaptability has prompted experts to reconsider their expectations about the viability of aquatic life in polluted waters and to ponder what other forms of life might be discovered within the exclusion zone. The thriving catfish of Chernobyl stand as a reminder of the unexpected ways in which life can flourish, challenging our understanding of resilience in the face of adversity. Number 13. Blackbird of Chernobyl. Dive into one of the lesser-known stories from Chernobyl, the tale of the blackbird. If the Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, rings any bells, this tale might feel eerily similar. Before the disaster struck on April 26, 1986, workers at the Chernobyl plant claimed to have encountered a large, black, humanoid figure with deep, red eyes and enormous wings. This terrifying presence seemed to ominously predict the reactor's doom, much like the Mothman did before the Silver Bridge collapse. The blackbird, dubbed the harbinger of disaster, was also said to cause frightening dreams and mysterious phone calls among those who saw it. After the catastrophe, cleanup workers reported sightings of this creature looming over the city's wreckage. The parallels with the Mothman don't stop there. Like its American counterpart, the blackbird of Chernobyl vanished post-meltdown. While some have tried to rationalize the blackbird sightings as a case of mistaken identity, perhaps a black stork, a rare bird native to southern Eurasia, standing 3 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 6 feet, it's tempting to recall it as something more menacing. Yet, the true nature of the blackbird remains a mystery to this day. Number 12. The Stalkers of Chernobyl. Many of us have a travel bucket list filled with destinations renowned for their beauty, culture, and history, like Japan, New Zealand, or Australia. These countries attract the majority with their famous sights and vibrant attractions. Yet, there exists a niche group among us drawn to the abandoned and obscure, engaging in what's known as dark tourism. Dark tourism is an intriguing travel concept focused on visiting locations marked by death, suffering, and calamity. It encompasses a range of destinations from historic battlefields and disaster zones to sites of notorious crimes, appealing to those fascinated by the darker aspects of history. Enter the Stalkers of Chernobyl, individuals driven by an unusual blend of adventure-seeking and cultural curiosity. These stalkers explore the Chernobyl exclusion zone, navigating a landscape still haunted by nuclear catastrophe. Their pursuits, termed stalkerism, often blur the boundaries of legality, embodying a quest for understanding that edges into the forbidden. You might wonder why anyone would choose to visit such a place, risking exposure to lingering radioactivity. The allure, for many, lies in a mix of curiosity, a morbid fascination, and a yearning for education through immersion. Would I consider visiting Chernobyl myself? Absolutely. There's an undeniable pull to the macabre and the lessons it holds. However, it's crucial to approach such places with respect. Dark tourism, at its core, demands a reverence for the sites visited, recognizing them as spaces of historical significance and human tragedy. For those of us intrigued by the shadows of the past, Chernobyl offers a profound reminder of nature's resilience, human error, and the importance of memory. Yet, in exploring these shadows, we must always tread lightly, honoring the stories and lives entwined with these haunted landscapes. Number 11. The Red Forest. Nestled in the heart of the Chernobyl exclusion zone lies a forest that vividly illustrates the aftermath of the 1986 nuclear disaster through its striking transformation. Known as the Red Forest due to its unique coloration, this area bore the brunt of the radiation fallout, leading to the death of its pine trees and their subsequent change to an unusual ginger hue. Beyond the striking crimson of the pines, researchers have uncovered another peculiar impact of the radiation, the slowdown of decomposition processes within the forest. Investigations reveal that plant matter, including leaves and tree trunks, breaks down far more slowly here than in unaffected woodlands, a phenomenon attributed to the reduced activity of microbes and fungi, crucial agents in organic decomposition. The Red Forest, with its eerie red tint and surreal landscape, has become a muse for various post-apocalyptic stories in games and literature. Scientists predict that the pine trees will maintain their distinctive color for many years, standing as a vivid reminder of the disaster's lasting effects. Number 10. Hundreds of gas masks. Middle School Number 3 in Pripyat is a haunting testament to the Cold War era and the Chernobyl disaster's aftermath. Online images of an abandoned classroom littered with gas masks might have caught your eye, offering a glimpse into a poignant piece of history. These gas masks, scattered across the floor, weren't intended for use during the nuclear catastrophe but were stored during the Cold War to shield children from nuclear, biological, and chemical threats. The fact that they are mostly child-sized serves as a stark reminder of the school's former life, bustling with the energy of young students. However, the disarray of these masks is not solely the result of the disaster. Looters, drawn by the small quantities of silver in the gas mask filters, have rifled through the school's supplies, leaving behind a scene reminiscent of a horror film. Once a place of learning and laughter, Middle School Number 3 now silently bears witness to the tragedy that befell Chernobyl, its empty halls and classrooms a somber memorial to the past. Number 9. The Babushkas of Chernobyl. In Poland and Russia, babushka affectionately refers to elderly women or grandmothers. The Babushkas of Chernobyl embody this term, being the steadfast elderly women who chose to stay in their homes despite the catastrophic nuclear accident. Around 100 of these women, deeply tied to their ancestral lands and dwellings where generations had lived, moved back into the contaminated zone. Despite initial prohibitions by authorities, their resilience saw them allowed back, albeit with grim expectations regarding their lifespan under such dangerous levels of radiation. Yet, these remarkable women have continued to live there, many interviewed in the early 2010s, by then in their 70s and 80s. How they have managed to seemingly withstand the radiation's effects is a mystery. Some suggest their survival, despite potential radiation effects, is a testament to their determination to stay connected to their homeland. They believe not radioactivity, but starvation is the true threat to life. These women, who were considered to be in the twilight of their lives over 8 years ago, stand as the last to call Chernobyl home. Their legacy is a powerful reminder of resilience and attachment to one's roots, and they will be remembered long after they are gone, possibly marking the end of Chernobyl as a place called home. Number 8. Deformed farm animals. Following the catastrophic event at Chernobyl in 1986, the nuclear fallout had a profound impact not only on humans and wild animals but also on farm animals within and around the affected area. In the immediate years after the disaster, notably in 1990, the region witnessed the birth of approximately 400 farm animals with severe deformities. These abnormalities ranged from malformations in the head to the emergence of extra limbs, alongside noticeable changes in size and coloration. Such mutations were the result of radiation damaging the DNA, the fundamental building block for every cell in an organism. DNA damage leads to errors during cell replication, which can manifest in various physical abnormalities, including deformed limbs or changes in bodily functions. If reproductive cells are affected, these mutations have the potential to be inherited by offspring, leading to congenital deformities. The aftermath of Chernobyl's disaster didn't solely impact farm animals. The exclusion zone has become an unintended refuge for wildlife exposed to radiation. Species such as horses, wolves, and a variety of birds have somehow adapted to the radioactive landscape. Despite facing challenges like reduced fertility rates and the risk of giving birth to mutated offspring, some populations have unexpectedly flourished. However, the radiation has not been kind to all. Invertebrate populations, including bees and butterflies, have seen declines, likely because they lay eggs in contaminated soil. Aquatic life, too, in the zone's lakes, such as frogs and fish, experiences genetic instability due to radionuclides settling in the sediment. Despite these adversities, scientists continue to closely observe the flora and fauna within the zone, offering invaluable insights into the resilience and adaptability of life in the face of nuclear contamination. This ongoing research not only sheds light on the immediate effects of the disaster, but also provides crucial information on the long-term ecological impacts of nuclear fallout. Number 7. Altered genes and dogs. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster, it wasn't just the resilient babushkas who reclaimed their place in the exclusion zone. Dozens of dogs, left behind during the hasty evacuation following the 1986 nuclear meltdown, also made the contaminated landscape their home. Unaware of the dangers, these abandoned pets were initially targeted for culling to prevent radioactive spread. Yet, some managed to elude capture, wandering the deserted streets and, with the assistance of cleanup crews, survived against the odds. This has led to a population of over 800 descendants now inhabiting the area around the dormant nuclear facility. The survival of these dogs is a tale of resilience, but it's the scientific community's findings that add a layer of intrigue. Genetic studies on these canines have shown that they are genetically unique compared to other dog populations. While they may resemble ordinary dogs, their DNA tells a story of adaptation and change, potentially influenced by radiation, their ability to endure in a hostile environment, or the effects of 37 years of isolation leading to inbreeding. Most of these dogs share a lineage with German Shepherds, yet much about their genetic journey remains a mystery. These findings hint at rapid evolutionary changes taking place among the Chernobyl dogs. However, despite the fascination they inspire, visitors to the area are advised to keep their distance. This caution helps protect both humans from potential radiation exposure and the dogs from further human-induced stress. The legacy of Chernobyl's dogs stands as a testament to nature's adaptability in the face of human-made disasters. Number 6. The Abandoned Carnival. The Abandoned Carnival in Pripyat stands as one of the most haunting symbols of the Chernobyl disaster's aftermath. Originally scheduled to open for the May Day celebrations on May 1, 1986, the park was thrust into a poignant spotlight due to the catastrophic nuclear accident that occurred just 5 days before its intended debut. Today, the rusting Ferris wheel and the decaying bumper cars, never touched by the laughter and joy of visitors, serve as stark reminders of what was lost. Before the disaster, Pripyat was a symbol of the Soviet Union's atomic age futurism, a vibrant city home to around 50,000 people and the families of those working at the nearby nuclear power plants. The amusement park was set to be a place of joy and communal gathering, a testament to the city's modernity and prosperity. However, the Chernobyl disaster on that early morning of April 26 changed everything, releasing unprecedented levels of radiation and effectively sealing the fate of the city and its amusement park. The immediate response to the disaster was plagued by confusion and delayed action. Communications were disrupted and there was a reluctance to inform the public of the magnitude of the catastrophe. There are reports that the amusement park was briefly opened on April 27 in an attempt to distract residents from the unfolding disaster, marking the only time the park was ever used. This action, if true, adds a layer of eerie melancholy to the site, hinting at a moment of desperate normalcy amid a rapidly escalating crisis. Now, the amusement park, with its iconic Ferris wheel silhouetted against the sky, has become a haunting symbol of the disaster, visited by those drawn to the story of Chernobyl. It stands as a testament to the abrupt end of Pripyat's prosperity and the dreams of its residents, built for joy but destined to be abandoned and remembered as a poignant reminder of the disaster's impact. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. The enigmatic tale of a peculiar creature spotted near Chernobyl has captured the imagination of the world, intertwining the realities of science with the mysteries of the unknown. In the forest still laden with significant levels of radioactivity, a sighting was reported that would pique the curiosity of both scientists and enthusiasts of the unexplained. Described as resembling a Komodo dragon from Indonesia, yet smaller in stature, this creature presents a baffling mystery in the already surreal landscape of Chernobyl. The discovery, primarily known through a single photograph and lacking further sightings, leaves more questions than answers. The presence of such an animal in an environment as unique as Chernobyl's radioactive forest adds another layer to the ongoing debate about radioactivity's impact on wildlife. While the area's high levels of radiation are known to have affected the local fauna, the emergence of an entirely unclassified creature would represent a significant anomaly. This account has intrigued dark tourists, scientists, and cryptozoologists alike, each drawn to the possibility of uncovering new truths in a place marked by historical catastrophe. However, without further evidence or sightings, the nature of this creature remains speculative. Is it a hoax, a misidentified known species, or evidence of radioactivity-induced mutations leading to the emergence of new species? Or perhaps it's a glimpse into the cryptid realm becoming tangible reality. The story of this mysterious creature, seen once and never again, adds to the allure of Chernobyl, a place where the past tragedy continues to unfold into present-day mysteries. It challenges our understanding of life's resilience and adaptability in the face of environmental disasters, leaving us to ponder what other secrets lie hidden in the shadows of the exclusion zone. Number 5. The Toxic Elephant's Foot. Tucked away beneath Reactor Number 4 lies an entity known as the Elephant's Foot, a moniker that scarcely hints at its true nature. This formidable mass, primarily composed of silicon dioxide alongside traces of uranium, titanium, zirconium, magnesium, and graphite, is a byproduct of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. The sheer radioactivity and density of the elephant's foot were so intense that armor-piercing bullets had to be employed just to obtain samples for scientific analysis. Upon its discovery, the radioactivity levels near the mass were staggeringly high, capable of delivering a fatal dose of radiation within mere minutes. The formation of this corium, a lava-like, fuel-containing material, during the meltdown is a rare occurrence, having only naturally formed 5 times in history, once at 3 Mile Island in 1979, once in Chernobyl in 1986, and 3 times during the Fukushima Daiichi disaster in 2011. Weighing approximately 2.2 tons, the elephant's foot is not only a symbol of nuclear disaster but also an object of scientific fascination. Despite its solidified state, it remains highly dangerous, posing a lethal threat for centuries to come. The long-term behavior of corium is largely unknown, adding an element of unpredictability to its already formidable nature. In response to the ongoing threat it poses, a new confinement system has been placed over Chernobyl to contain the harmful effects of the elephant's foot and other radioactive materials within the site. Scientists continue to research methods for mitigating, quenching, and cooling corium, hoping to prevent future incidents and manage existing ones more effectively. The hope is that such knowledge, while crucial, will not need to be applied again in the near future. Number 4. Color-changing frogs. The eastern tree frogs of Chernobyl have captivated scientists with their remarkable adaptation to the radiation-soaked environment following the 1986 nuclear disaster. Traditionally recognized by their vibrant green color, these frogs have undergone a significant transformation. Around 2016, researchers observed not just a darkening of the frog's coloration but found some individuals to be pitch black, a stark deviation from their original hue. This change in coloration is not merely cosmetic. The increase in melanin, the same pigment that influences human skin color, plays a crucial role in the frog's survival. Melanin possesses the extraordinary capability to absorb and neutralize radiation energy, thereby minimizing cellular damage. This means that frogs with higher melanin levels and, consequently, darker skin are better suited to withstand the harsh, radiation-rich conditions of Chernobyl. Interestingly, the prevalence of darker coloration among these frogs correlates more strongly with the historical levels of radiation in their environment rather than current radiation levels. This suggests that the darker frogs, which were initially less common at the time of the Chernobyl accident, had a survival advantage due to melanin's protective properties. Over more than 10 generations since the disaster, natural selection has favored these melanin-rich, darker frogs, making them the predominant variant within the Chernobyl exclusion zone. This evolutionary adaptation highlights not only the resilience of life in the face of catastrophic events but also the unexpected ways in which organisms can adapt to survive in altered environments. Number 3. Atomic vodka. After the devastating 1986 disaster, the Chernobyl exclusion zone was established around the area most affected by the catastrophe. Scientists predict this region will remain uninhabitable for an astonishing 24,000 years. Yet, within this seemingly lifeless area, a group of innovative scientists, including environmental scientist Jim Smith from the University of Portsmouth, embarked on a groundbreaking project. They aim to craft a unique product from the raw materials sourced within the Chernobyl exclusion zone, leading to the creation of a vodka named Atomic. This spirit stands as the first, and likely only, consumer product to emerge from the exclusion zone since the nuclear disaster. The team's research centered on an experimental farm plot located near the Opachichi settlement in one of the zone's less contaminated areas. Here, they cultivated rye which, although slightly radioactive, was transformed into vodka through distillation. This process effectively removed the radioactivity, leaving behind heavier elements in the waste. The resulting vodka displayed only natural carbon-14 levels akin to those found in any other spirit, ensuring its safety for consumption. To further ensure purity, Atomic vodka was diluted with mineral water sourced from a deep aquifer within Chernobyl, approximately 6 miles south of the reactor. Despite the water's proximity to the disaster site, it appeared to be free from Chernobyl-related radioactivity. While the creation of Atomic vodka represents a potentially significant step toward the economic revival of the Chernobyl area, skepticism about its safety is understandable. The notion of consuming a product from a site synonymous with nuclear disaster might deter many, myself included. However, the project underscores the possibility of reclaiming and repurposing land affected by nuclear fallout, sparking a conversation about the resilience and renewal of such devastated areas. Number 2. Dolls of Chernobyl. Within the haunting landscape of Chernobyl, amidst the derelict structures and the silent echoes of a past life, lie dolls, tattered, broken, and scattered. These dolls, particularly noticeable in the local kindergarten, might at first glance seem like poignant relics of the chaotic evacuation that followed the nuclear disaster. Yet, the truth behind their presence stirs both fascination and debate. The 1986 disaster at Chernobyl marked a turning point for Pripyat, a city once hailed as a beacon of Soviet progress. The explosion at the power plant forced an immediate evacuation, exposing the residents to dangerous levels of radiation and significantly increasing their lifetime cancer risk. Contrary to the initial assumption that these dolls are remnants left behind by fleeing children, the reality is that many were placed in the exclusion zone by visitors. Whether intended as attractions or as tributes to the displaced, these dolls serve as a stark reminder of the homes and childhoods lost to the catastrophe. However, this practice has sparked controversy, muddying the waters between the genuine historical narrative of Chernobyl and the stories constructed by those who visit. As tourism to the area grows, so does the interaction with these dolls, raising concerns about the preservation of the site and the respect due to its somber history. The debate over the dolls in Chernobyl touches on broader themes of memory, tragedy, and the ethics of dark tourism. Should these visitor-placed dolls be removed to maintain the authenticity of the site's tragic past, or do they now form a part of the narrative that deserves recognition in its own right? This question invites reflection on how we honor and remember the sites of historical tragedies, balancing respect for the past with the human impulse to connect with and make sense of such sites in personal ways. Number 1. Hospital of Death. The hospital in Pripyat, known as MSCH 126, located on Druzhby Narrative Street, stands as a haunting testament to the immediate aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster. Originally established to serve the burgeoning community of Pripyat, including the workers of the nearby nuclear power plant and their families, it became one of the first sites to confront the human toll of the catastrophe. On the morning of April 26, 1986, even before the disaster had been officially acknowledged, MSCH 126 began receiving victims of the nuclear meltdown, a silent witness to the unfolding tragedy. The corridors and rooms of this hospital, if they could narrate their story, would recount the unspeakable horrors and panic that ensued in the hours following the disaster. Among the remnants of its past, clothing once worn by the victims remains within its walls, too contaminated by radiation to be removed. These garments serve as a harrowing reminder of the patients who were hastily transported to Moscow for specialized treatment for their radiation exposures, leaving behind a facility that was once a cornerstone of the community. Over the years, MSCH-126 has been subjected to vandalism by individuals drawn to its dark history, yet it continues to stand as one of the most profoundly unsettling locations in Pripyat. The hospital is a stark memorial to the immediate human impact of the Chernobyl disaster, embodying the fear, confusion, and suffering experienced by the residents in the wake of the nuclear meltdown. Its existence offers a grim window into the first desperate hours of a crisis that would leave an indelible mark on the region and its people.